And before we get started, we do have just one tiny little announcement, and so bear with us. For the poets, for anyone who's reading, I would please like for you to sit in the front row and make it easier for you to get to the stage. And let's get to it. The truth is that Alice never really leaves Wonderland. She never returns to who she was in either direction. She becomes made up, fictional, each precise, leading further to the literal chaotic twist, leading her further to other empty pages like these ones. Once fallen by rabbit hole or apple, we are never and never again the same. Gertner's assessment, his discerning truth that we are all Alices or Eves. The greener pastures of our desires and curiosities, like a massive eating machine that has the force to swallow us whole and alive, to evict us still from our Edens. For Carlos de Basta. Our first poet this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Edwin Benson. Wonderful, intelligent, and articulate. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Cool. All right, I'm Edwin. This poem's called My Day Goes to Waste, Dreaming of a Time and a Place Where I Can Ultimately Say That I'm Full of Sublime and Bliss. The self-reliant thoughts of a man that feeds his own flame. I'll squeeze your brain and make your Pulp Fiction like Tarantino. I try to fluctuate my emphasis. I let the words hang in the air so they're deliberately infinite. You see, right when I was about to get into it, I had realized that I had already witnessed this sickening thing crawling inside of my nether regions, this legion of doom. It comes in seasons, it blossoms and blooms and explodes in 1,000 letters and curves to let it be known that even the deaf can hear the sounds of my words. But words heard can assimilate anomalies. Your selective perception insinuates the flaws of me. He's calling me. Should I answer? I'll just wait and see. Vanities vanish, it's not as important as family. Thank you.
We're gonna tear it up. Miss Erica Gonzalez, please, to the stage.
Hi. The name of my poem is Underneath. Everything is fine on the outside, her long brunette hair flowing on her shoulders. No one knew the pain deep inside. Underneath the smile and those eyes were dark circles from sleepless nights and everlasting heartache. She hid it well, told jokes, stories, never about the all-nighters she would pull, but of phony old Cuban men. Were they even true? Who cares? The talk of the town, nowhere in town, nowhere to be found, yet safe and sound. In her self-proclaimed sanctuary, she spent her hours, days, months, searching for herself a savior, never realizing she lost her soul. Lost it underneath the bridge, underneath the pier, underneath the old tree, underneath his body. Underneath it all was the pain she could never do enough to numb. Wish she'd realize she'll never be the same again.
Our next poet this evening is one of our Writer's Block regulars. Please, the mad scientist, Corey McCann.
Hello, Earthlings. They call me a mad scientist because I'm a physics major and I write poetry, and that's just absurd. So, I have two poems for you. One of them is called Cosmological Enzyme, and the other one is called Entrailed. Cosmological Enzyme. Form fits function. Whence came form? Void, teeming, critical point imminent. Expansive recombination, binary mold, coalesced internally, products defined from necessity. Constituents present, force permeates matter, no matter how dark. Proposition untestable, reality unmarked. Thank you. So, yeah, I know. It's painful to listen to. All right, so, well, in the sense that it's so, what the hell am I saying? All right, but if you look at it on paper, it's a little more cohesive. All right. Anyway, thank you. Okay, so this is entrailed, like entrails, like entrails. All right. Anyway, forego forgetfulness, slimescent scrubs. Creative captor ties your stringed puppetry. Winged king, commander of will, submission commenced by sharpened eyes. Sum of summits, shrility of mind, synthesized encoding, shredding self. Crucial criticality, frivolous happenings nightmarish, demolition denied, pervasive avoidance be thy name. Thank you.
Science. And then, of course, there's always the love of money, which, of course, that leads us to our next poet, Mr. Steven Rodriguez, accounting major here at Miami-Dade.
All right, I'm not a physics major, so, All right. You say love of money? Is that what you said? Yeah. All right, not money, okay? This poem is about a girl, okay? So a lot of us can relate. Here we go. This poem is called My Name. Excuse me, I was wondering if I could give you my name, in the hopes that one day we could both look back and reminisce on all that's came. You see, girl, because when I look at you, I change. My thoughts there, well, they're not the same. It's like I got your red hot love boiling through my veins and pumping through my heart, and by the time it gets to it, explodes my brain. It's insane. And well, I'm not very good at this game, so I was wondering if maybe possibly if I could have your number. And with my heart beating loud as thunder, I'll ask you out on our first date, and like anybody else here on their first date, we'll try our hardest to, even in the most simplest way, relate. Because so much is at stake. The rest of our lives, in fact, if it's true that opposites do attract, then I'm sorry for being so negative, but girl, you're just so damn positive. And do the math. When you're done adding and subtracting and the once complicated problem is now contracting, I'm sure you'll find the answer to be quite simple. That every time you smile, girl, I just want to break down on my knees and thank God for those cute-ass dimples. And maybe we'll even get married, and I'll help you with the weight of the world in which you used to once by yourself carry. And I know you've been waiting, but tonight is our wedding night, and like some kind of sex toy, I've been winding, and I'm completely and 100% ready and certified. I promise to start grinding, girl. I walk into our hotel suite, and I start kissing your waist, starting at your feet, your naked body and image. It hits me like a mirage, and I hear you cutely ask, babe, could I get a massage? Of course. And that's that. We'll have a couple kids, a dog, maybe even a cat, and I swear to you, when my guitar starts producing the right tunes that make people want to throw their Washingtons at us, I'm going to get us the best, top of the line, everything you need in one, alarm system to protect us, or a boat. I really want a boat. Something so that when you're fighting with me and trying to sink my battleship, I'll be able to stay afloat. You see, girl, because there are going to be tough times, and if sweet words won't help, then just ignore my rhymes. I'm going to start a new religion. It's going to be you and me. And though most people are going to call it a superstition, they don't understand our mission. They can't even begin to perceive. And when people ask me about my faith, I'm going to faithfully explain to them how when I wake up next to you in the morning, I'm in perfect zen. On the perfect scale, it's not a 10, but a 1 through 10. Added up, I believe that's 55. You see, girl, our love only has one thing in mind: strive to survive. And right now you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but 50 years down the line, you're gonna be looking back thanking me. Our love's gonna be different, our story, one to remember. We're gonna be flying through the air currents of time, hitting zero turbulence in some kind of speedy jet plane. So whenever you're ready, here, I wrote it down. My name. Thank you.
I've got his name and phone number and address right here. I drive a purple car. Our very next special guest is one of our most prized people in the English department, Miss Sylvia Rivas. Please, to the stage. We'll give you a moment. Can we get some music?
This is a man's world.
You got breaks, right?
This is a man's world. But it would be nothing, nothing without a woman.
This poem I'm about to read is my latest work. I've had a real spate of creativity the last month or so. It's actually a joint effort between myself, Professor DeWasso, and one of Professor DeWasso's students, Lily Chavez. Something happened 8 years ago that kind of froze my mind, and I haven't been able to write about it, and it's blocked just about everything, all my creativity. And then Manny and I were talking about how I had a complete inability to write about it. And I used a phrase, and he says, well, there's your poem. So I started writing, and he started provoking me. So this poem is entitled Zero by Sylvia M. Rivas, Manuel Duasso, and Lily Chavez. Someone shot a hole through me where words should be. I stutter and halt, English verbs struggling to sputter into life, a stalled airplane crashing into my chest, thoughts crumbling into ashes. The paper I should scrawl upon floats to a rubbled street, burning as it lands, pierced by 1,000 shards of blasted glass. The pen bleeds in my hand, the hand that ought to write the heart, but the heart disintegrates within me like grated drywall. The steel resolution of my spine turns molten. I am a vacant skull, eyes floating in a liquid metal puddle. Someone shot a hole in us where words should be, where monuments of light or stone or steel should rise. Fall's harvest yields no fruit palatable to the eyes or soul. September's blue pinstripe suit unsuitable for mourning. How bury the dead when they cannot be found? Memorialize the souls when they are but vapor. Epitaphs, can they be written on monuments to the missing when talking heads deliberate minutia? 2 millennia and a day from now, will there be sufficient dust to send these ragged souls to their Elysium? Perhaps then the words of ghosts could write themselves on monoliths of peace. Thank you.
This is a man's world. But it would be nothing, nothing, not one little thing without a woman or a girl. He's lost in the wilderness. He's lost.
One of our Kendall campus family newbies. We're going to dub him the King of Onomatopoeias. Please, Mr. Jared Bestrong.
Good evening, everyone. Looking for my students out there. I see one. They promised, we had a little deal going. If I performed and did some didgeridoo here, then next month they were going to be writing stuff to perform here at the open mic. So I'm upholding my side of the deal right now. The didgeridoo is an Australian Aborigine instrument. It dates back, they say, between 40,000 and 60,000 years. It's very old. It's a very old form of poetry. And tonight I'm going to tell a little story through the didgeridoo. It's titled The Story of Time. And we're going to take a journey from modern day back through the ages, and we're going to end up at the Big Bang. Thank you.
Oh, Mama, where my daddy.
That would be the only reason why I'd ever want to go back to college. 3 o'clock in the morning in your dorm room, that evil roommate. That is cool. I love sound poetry. That's sound poetry, in case you didn't know. All right, folks. Our next wonderful guest is quite literally part of the Writing Center family. Please welcome our little rock and roller, Luis Figueroa.
Good evening. I'm sorry, I left my bass at the Writing Center, so I can't do musical poetry. So, sorry, guys. However, I brought a monologue I wrote a few years ago after watching Pulp Fiction, of all things. And it's called You Got Me. All right, here goes. You got me, kid. You got me real good. I can't believe this damn amateur plugged me a few times. I'm sitting on the floor, bleeding my life away. He's standing in front of me, holding a damn cannon. Well, what are you waiting for, kid? Slug me, bust me in the chops, send me to Timbuktu. Come on, we ain't got till Christmas. Oh, I see. That's how it is, huh, kid? You ain't got the guts to do it. You're feeling pretty yellow-bellied, huh? That's fine. Give up. What are you, nuts? You're funny, kid. You're real funny. Shit, blood's going away. Stop yelling at me, I hear you. I ain't giving up, plug me. I don't understand you, amateur. You come in here, you try to kill me, punk out, and now you want me to give in? I chuckle under my breath. You know what? All right, kid, go ahead. Get the cops. And get me a damn medic. I'm bleeding over here. He smiled like a kid would on Christmas. He turned to get help, and then, bang. He fell instantly on the ground. I got up slowly, lit one up, walked over to him. He coughed up blood. He was crying. I'm sorry, amateur. You don't turn your back on your enemy. What do you mean, why? It's karma. It's what happens when you come out and kill some guy and you let him live. I saw the life disappear in his eyes. Sorry, kid. I had to do it. Shit. I sat down next to him and took another hit on my cigarette. I'm sorry, son. Only I can put you on this earth. And only I can take you off. I wiped the tears off his face and closed his eyes. Son of a bitch. You got me, kid. You got me real good. Put the cannon to my head. I'll see you in hell. Bang. Thank you.
You had class. You had everything to make a love last. You had grace. You had charm. You had me hanging on your arm.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Our next wonderful writer is really part of the English department family. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Christopher Eason.
Hello, everybody. So, I am definitely new. This is Razor. Scritch. Scratch. The blade cleaves the white foam fields of my face. Scritch. Scratch. Fluffy and abundant as Cronus' semen, castrated, extracted from the sea. With each swipe, nude skin is revealed. White, porcelain, Aphrodite's flesh, rising from my foamy ocean, flawless to the touch now. Every trace of manhood relinquished. Thanks.
So good. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yes, it is. Love, money, insurance. Our next poet is, of course, published. It doesn't mean it makes him better than the rest of us, but it definitely makes him a little somebody. Please welcome to the stage Professor Renee Martin.
Oh, leave me alone. 'Cause when it's good, it's so, so good. When it's gone, it's gone. Oh, gone. I hang your picture right.
This year, the English department has adopted a novel by the title After Dark by a Japanese author, Haruki Murakami. Some of you may have read it, or maybe in the process of reading it. And I was inspired to write a poem using that title. There's no direct relationship with the book, but it was inspired by the book. So this is After Dark. Perhaps it has always been thus, this ambivalence towards the dark, that period devoid of light when day goes temporarily blind and man, like Oedipus overcome by awareness of crime unforgivable, gropes blindly through terrain fraught with terrors, magnified by imaginings, seeking release. At length, the nightmares are dispelled by advent of dawn's light, bringing, as known so well, its own merciless, clear-sighted revelations. The exploding bomb turning flesh to confetti, the flashing knife exulting in torrential release of blood, the hands at throats that fatally rob of air, the curses that consign to hell, or worse, the seething hates, the searing, all-obliterating agony of despair, the frozen abyss of unrequited love, the cool contempt, the withering stare, till, surfeit of day, the benediction of sleep's sightless balm is yearned for as for the embrace of a lover. That's After Dark. I'll do one more. I'll do something lighter. This is a partial catalogue of Bending's many virtues. Bending a stream may yield oasis in what was arid region. Bending a road enables progress towards a destination. Bending a bow is required for an arrow to be shot. Bending the neck may ensure that a clearer view be got. Bending its wings, the bird is able to sustain flight. Bending beams of reflected light proceed to produce sight. Bending bodies harmonize in the throes of love's great passion. Bending one's claim is necessary for conflict resolution. Bending allows the slender palm to withstand the storm's onslaught. Bending the will to the task at hand is what produces thought. Thank you.
If I was the boss and I had my way, drink all night and play cards all day.
We do not promote those ideas here at Miami-Dade. Thank you very much. At least not Monday through Thursday. If we have great fathers of poetry, our great Adams, we certainly have our great Eves. I would like to welcome to the stage Professor Marta Magellan.
When I was young and in my prime, I had me girls 13 at a time. Lady, the word been getting around, and my high-flying rocket done hit the ground, and I can't get it up no more. Well, I can't get it up no more. Mainspring popped and the whole thing dropped. The Lord, I can't get it up no more. I told my baby I played the fiddle. She smiled and said, well,
I'm not a poet. Actually, I write children's books, nonfiction, and my latest book just came out. It's called Those Colossal Cats, and it's about tigers and jaguars. I'm not going to read that today. But you can buy it, Amazon. What I'm going to read, I wrote a long time ago In the early 90s, when I was a young teacher at Inter-American Center, I was teaching ESL, and this particular thing was written as a pseudonym. I didn't come out with it until now. So you're the first. And the minute I start reading, I think you'll know why it has to be in a pseudonym. But let's just say, I don't see any administrators, so why don't we just keep it here, you know, whatever happens in open mic stays in open mic. Okay. After my marriage soured, on the way home from the Justice of the Peace, I vowed never again to look twice at anybody who remotely reminded me of my ex-husband. I no longer wanted anything to do with any man who was younger than I, a professional student, or who spoke funny English. Jose fit that description almost exactly, and he carried an extra complication. He was one of my students. And then Jose handed me his schedule. For a second, I forgot about the paper in my hand and stared at him. He had European coloring, fair skin and brown hair, but narrow eyes and high cheekbones. One of his arms was shorter than the other, and on its end there was a tiny deformed hand. I instantly recalled the name of the drug taken by pregnant women that had caused babies to be born that way, thalidomide. It could have all ended right there, but the dice had already started to roll for us. That evening, I did something that I shouldn't have. I took my shoes off in front of the class. It was a level 3 writing course, and I had planned to write a paragraph on the board to make a point, but I couldn't reach enough of the blackboard. I took off my high heels to step on a chair, make myself a little taller. As I wrote, something made me turn around. Jose had a trance-like stare on his face. I had seen such looks on men when women stripped off their blouse at carnival balls in Rio, where I'm from. So I was alarmed. I began to feel my face heat up. The top of my dress must have come completely unbuttoned, and I forgot to wear a bra. I touched the top of my dress. It was fastened. I turned back around and finished writing the paragraph, but I couldn't stop thinking about the heat of his stare. I decided to ignore him the rest of the semester. I did a pretty good job until about the end of the semester. That's when I had him write their last paper. He wrote about his hand and his tragically naive hope that in America, where medicine was more advanced than in Nicaragua, surgeons might cure him. My heart went out for him. I knew no doctor would give him a normal hand. I felt the urge to talk to him about it, but that wasn't my job. All I could do was teach him to write. I gave him a C- and wrote "see me" on the paper. After class, he followed me to my office, and I began rattling on about his grammatical errors. I had to talk fast because I had another class. Was it caused by thalidomide? I finally asked, looking at his hand. Lidomide? He asked, puzzled. Thalidomide, I repeated. Your hand. Oh, he said. His eyes dropped for a second. Then they looked straight into my eyes. You'll have to revise this paper, I continued, looking quickly back down at the paper, and correct the verb tense errors. Yes, he nodded, very tense errors. It looked like we were both very tense, and I wanted to end the conference. I glanced at my watch. I have another class, I said. I handed back his paper, then noticed he hadn't completed his heading. This isn't complete, I said, tapping the heading with my index finger. Remember what I said? My hand accidentally brushed his. Flustered, we both got up at the same time. He looked embarrassed, and I wondered if he thought I had brushed against his hand on purpose. Don't forget, you need to have the date and the level. At this, he looked straight at me, filled with sudden confidence. I may come to visit you this weekend. Bang! Just like that. No. I may come to visit you this weekend. He took out a business card, handed it to me, smiled shyly, and left the office. No way, I thought, looking around my trash can. Not one chance in a million. What happened to my trash can? I stuffed the card in my purse and was going to get rid of it the first chance I got. Well, that night, when I got home, I found that my house had been vandalized. I called the police and waited outside for them. The longer the police took to get there, the more scared I became. So I called him. After all, his card was in my purse. It turned out to be the most perfect relationship a woman could hope for in an imperfect universe. It was like a comet shower one day and a clear sky the next, both exciting and tranquil, emotional and reasonable. It wasn't until about 9 months later, while we were playfully arguing about who chased whom, that I discovered how it had all happened. "You're the one who chased me," he pouted. "You took your shoes off in the classroom. How did I know you had a foot fetish? Besides, you gave me your phone number. Because in your office you touched me and you said that thing. It was an accidental touch." "What thing?" "You told me you need a date and a lover." My mind raced back to that office conversation, groping for anything remotely resembling that statement. Suddenly I remembered. "I was talking about the heading," I said. "You need the date and the level." "I know, I heard you." He heard me with a heavy accent. I don't think I would have asked out a divorced woman with 2 kids if you hadn't said that. But when you did, something exploded in my head. A divorced woman with 2 kids. He never would have asked me out. I never forgave him for that remark. All along, I had nurtured a fantasy that he had been uncontrollably attracted to me. And then I realized it had been nothing more than a bunch of random coincidences pulled together by a gravitational force, culminating in an explosion somewhere in Jose's non-English speaking head. The Big Bang theory of relationships, an accident, just like the universe.
Well, I lent my baby my brand new car. She drove that thing from bar to bar.
Love is difficult. Don't date your teachers. It's just not right. Our next rider to the stage is one of our wonderful, most polite and loving. I have his phone number too, and his address. Mr. Augusto Bayar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to recite for you a love poem. Well, this is not so really a love poem. We can call it a goodbye poem because once I was in love, but for bad news, by the destiny and the precedence of reality, we have to just fall apart. So here it is a poem which I call it So Long. It goes like this. Our time has come to depart, making life to tear our roads apart, knowing no time to see you again, with nothing good from it to gain. Love, love all what makes you inspire, as I love you with great desire, knowing that love is eternal, shared, wanted, and fraternal. Be always happy and successful, keeping from you away anything distressful. No fears to accomplish your dreams, fighting against life's streams. Keep me in your memory and heart, as I will do with your art of light and marbles, always writing those messages in your works and novels. But life is not so cruel. As air it is our fuel, life will bring us together again. Having you in my memory as a beautiful dream to maintain and to be always my dear and most beautiful allegory. Thank you so much, guys, and enjoy your weekend. Evening.
Oh, that's wonderful. Young love. And then you turn 25. Again and again. That's right, baby. Don't grow up. Don't get any bigger. Little people. Our next poet is Mr. Alcedes Desenia, and he'll be reading from his own work.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When I was gonna come up here and decide to speak what I've wrote, and looking back through, try to put some stuff together that will really, hit a nerve. I come here and I've had professors and various people that did it before, and you look at your writing and it's like, it's not that good. Compared to, of course, people who have done it before. But I hope I could give you the honor as you have given me in sharing your words. This is a poem I've written a few years ago. It was kind of my last one. I haven't written one in a while, so hopefully that's good. It's called My Testimony. Your burning word ceases to make me scar. No action can break me down, snivel at the dirt. I have risen from the depths that many men venture towards and never return. Down towards that infernal abyss, the eternal damnation of our souls, festering towards the escape guarded by Cerberus. Two that I have known had made it past, only two. My escape was nothing short of a miracle, the caged soul yearning to be free in the scarred body that leaves a trail of blood in its haunting. Through the labyrinth of Hades I ran, quickly passing tormented souls, screaming for mercy and shouting promises for a reprieve from the beatings. I laughed. Endure my pain went through my mind as a screaming echo towards the halls of my escape. I now stand on the white cliffs of Dover, watching the tides crash against the rocks, marking time with its calculated strike in clouds foreboding the coming rain and its everlasting, soft, sweet music. I open my eyes, for the rain has stopped. My eyes are transfixed on the image of the divine nature implanted inside. The red-orange tint of the sunset searches for my tears. I give them not. The sunset slowly descends behind the ridge, illuminating the waves down below with a soft glistening glow, giving Michelangelo a new portrait to paint. The divine nature searches for my tears. I give them not. And finally, behind the mountains, does Helios ride his chariot to rest. The moon comes out of hiding and aligns herself peacefully in the sky, giving the glow to the same waves. I kneel to the crescendo of the night orchestra, and I give them my tears. How can I hurt when I'm holding you? You, who holds beauty like a hostage and wear it like a cape. You, beacon of light, uncovering this earthly plane, pinnacle of grace and splendor. Why must you cast your shadow over me, tormenting my wretched soul, which you saved? Why must I trail behind you? Oh, I see. You choose to light on someone else. Funny word, choose. You choose another. You choose to dissuade me and bring forth the pain you so graciously took away and returned it tenfold to me. I had no choice. You baited me with your sweet nothings, with your sweet tastes and your promised paradise. I followed your bait, jumped over obstacles, and hung proudly for your pictures. My life trailing behind you, dragged and pulled, and yet you choose another. Funny fucking word, choose. I walk on through the sands of time, this lonely walk, this trail of tears. I look around and find you nowhere near. The ocean seems closer now, the sun starting to hide behind the clouds. I am a destroyer. Life has thwarted me, but I escape, destroying that inconvenience. While I be a destroyer, I am also a creator. While I am dead, I am also alive. And while I try to be nobody, I am someone. Thank you.
Soulful. Our next amazing, super sexy, that's written down somewhere on the internet. I read that earlier. It's not personal opinion. I'm just simply saying. Our next amazing poet, please put your hands together for Mr. Summerhill 7.
Morning conversation. Her. Oh, I want to do it again, Pooh. Me. Yeah, I want to do it too. So what's the problem? Problem, baby, is that I'm a him. A him? Shut up then and give me more him. A him? He's kind of dim, so I'll do the speechifying. Now, there's no denying your curves are enticing and your kapow and tadao are the icing, but ma, he too tired for a fling. No, I could wake him up, take a look at what is in my cup. Incredible, yeah, I already know what's up, but baby, I gotta go to work for our sup. I know, but how about a quickie? You did it to me so good, I woke up freaky. Come here, let me give him a licky licky. I need him, boo. I need him too, to be at his peak, to do what I gotta do for me and for you. They not giving out these green pieces of paper no more, so I gotta go to work and be a hoe for Mr. Franklin, Benjamin, remember him? I know, baby boo, I work too, but what that got to do with you and me? Well, the more I dine on you, the less hungry I am. I can't speak for every man, but him, I'm starting to understand. He ain't running the show no more, because if I listen to him, there's no limit to the coochie he'd get me into. Because your tadao and kabao is unique to the freak in me, but Shetty, he can't see the difference between your tadao and her kapow. All he knows is, stick it in now. Well, maybe, baby, you should listen to him. Now, for me, daddy. But ma, that's only half the issue. It motivates my fidelity to miss you. Because when he gets excited by random curves, I can use my remaining verb to work hard, fast, and get through so I can hurry back to you. Doo-doo. I can't wait, daddy. I want you right now. Ow, baby, you making me weak. Nah, daddy, I'm motivating your inner freak to keep your game at its peak. You can't resist this kryptonite between my thighs. Those other chicks might appeal to your eyes, but only I can make your whole soul rise with the scent between my thighs. Besides, I got dough. So today, daddy, you my hoe. Get your ass back in bed, call up your boss, and tell him what I said. I'm hiring you out at twice your normal rate. I'm gonna go get breakfast in bed, afterwards more head, because you get more strength after you've ate. You know how I hate to be late. But because I already know the loving will be great, I'm calling my job to say I'm taking a vacation day. After I've eaten you and you've eaten me and we've eaten to gain strength to eat each other again, then my friend, I'll be coming back to vacation paradise again and again. So daddy, shut up, you know the deal. Get down here and make me squeal. I'm more than a meal. Behind every great man is a great woman. So man, get behind this great woman and be great and stop making me wait, because now, after all this debate, I'ma take it, Pooh. Yes, I'm taking him from you. Great, great. Like I said before, I want to do it again too. So if you can get me and him to do it to you, then more power to you. Thank you. One more piece, sandwiched by a shameless plug. November 18th, we'll be doing this again, Writer's Block, yay. If you're out there and you're feeling funky and you want to leap and get up here, then go to the Writing Center and fill out a submission form. We'd love to hear your voice. The following day, November 19th, on this stage, we'll be doing something called Poemity at Kendall, Poemity Squircular, which will take poetry and mix it with live dance, modern dance, live music, and a DJ, and create something theatrical for you to witness. And then finally, I will be doing a reading of the book I'm reading from at the Miami International Book Fair, the last day of the book fair, November 15th. So if you're interested in any of it, come on out and we'll read more together. This next piece is called The Day New York's Lights Went Out. Milling about, Casablanca, Rabat, Marrakesh, Agadir, milling about, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Newark, milling about, 6 hours, 4:08 p.m., 6 hours, 9:08 p.m., milling about, Moroccan consulate. The day the lights went out, even the people with clout went without. Isura, Mogadur, Piratis, Ganao, Souk, between Avenue A and B, male belly dancers. Stop lying, Miriam. The day the lights went out, 8/14/03, you and me, Morocco and the USA, staring at the same stars, staring at the same cars, staring at the same bars. Peugeot, push, then go. Where I'ma go in the dark besides Washington Square Park? Milling about. I don't have clout. I don't have any clout like Slim Iceberg or Mayor Bloomberg, so don't go back to the hotel and sell more sex since the mayor went to the Blue Room and held a press conference. Urbi et Orbi, New York City's lights went out. Go forth and mill about. I mill about and seek the stars out, finding instead fear and doubt, finding you out, peeping your game. I told you my real name, even gave you my email. You prefer snail mail. I prefer to be here and chase tail than to go to jail. So I don't loot or steal ale. I wait for the post-blackout sale to steal. But here's the deal. The day that New York City's lights went out is eternal to the people that lost their earthly light that night while milling about. Thank you.
My mama said stand like this. Our last and final poet up on the stage, please welcome the Spitfire, Mrs. Giselle Valdez.
I haven't been on stage in a long time. Okay. The opposite of love is hatred is evil and bad and not good. And people can find reasons to hate. Yet I hate hate.
Thanks.
This is called Cheeseburger. Your love, so fairly prepared, well inspected, meeting and exceeding such USDA standards. Be not timid when I kiss sesame seed lips, when I meld with melted cheese, when I embrace beef denatured as a mush within my chest. Oh, sweet artery-slowing fruit of flame-broiled fancy, thicken the cage of my wounded heart, and tame its immoderate beating with an affair hardly more sinful than that which tenderized it to a fluttery pulp. Grant me the will to love again, not with a weaker muscle, foolishly supple to her touch, but with a heart hardened by cholesterol and wisdom, or a muscle stronger yet. Make love taste sweeter, let me savor it longer, let it be what behooves me and wound me with searing passion's sizzle, but let me be certain that I'll love again by dinner. Thanks.
You've never had a cheeseburger day in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take this time to thank everyone that came out and supported these wonderful, beautiful, talented people sitting here in this front row. We hope that you will definitely join us in November. Remember the 18th. Remember a Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock in room 2207, the Writing Center. We hope you have enjoyed yourself. We'd like to, of course, thank all of the wonderful people in our IT booth. We love you! It's just sexy music. And of course, we thank all of our faculty and staff who participated. Thank you also for your support. We thank the director of the Writing Center, Mr. David Tulloch, for his support. I thank myself and the stress. Okay. And everyone, have a wonderful poetic evening. Thank you.